Wow, that is a lot of snow. Whew, I would not want to be out there right now. Nope, That's what happens when you get 3 blizzards in 3 weeks. Yay! Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is a cozy day for me, so I am snug up in my sweatshirt and ready to talk about some books. Today I finally decided my TBR for this month, so I'm gonna show you guys what my February TBR is. So I know it's like the second week in February already, but I still want to do a February TBR because I didn't do as well as I thought I was going to do last month. I only got to like 1 book on my TBR for January, and so I decided why not do a February one, maybe keep myself more accountable. I have already read a few books because the first week of February I participated in my first ever readathon, which was super exciting. It was hashtag #ereadathon that Hope and Mandy co-ran, I guess you could say. Yeah, they created it. I will link their channels down below. They're both amazing, and it was so much fun to participate in a readathon. I got super into it on Twitter and everything, so that was awesome. For the next like 3 weeks or however many weeks are left in February, I have about 7 books here. Again, super ambitious as always, but hey, why not? The first book that I have is very well known, and the reason why I am rereading it, but I feel like I'm reading it for like the first time again, is because the movie is coming out in 4 days, and that book is 50 Shades of Grey. Like I said, this book needs no introduction. Everyone probably knows what this book is. They also probably have their own opinions on it, but I am rereading it. As I said, I read it like maybe I want to say a year and a half ago, the entire trilogy, but I'm reading the first book before I go see the movie because I really want to have a good state of mind going in so that I could do a comparison video on my channel of how I thought the book was versus the movie. I hope to get this done and read before I go see the movie on Valentine's Day. The next book that I have is also a very well-known book. It was also turned into a movie, and it's very appropriate that I'm reading it during February because Valentine's Day is during this month. It's actually coming up on Saturday, and that is The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks. I have watched this movie as many times as possible, as well as like half the female population in the world. It's one of my favorite movies ever. I am finally going to read The Notebook and see what I think the book, how I like the book versus the movie. And I'll probably give a little blurb about that during my wrap up, but yes. And I am excited to read this book, and yeah, I'm rambling as always, so let's just keep going. Also, if you guys are interested, I will leave all the Goodreads pages to these books down below. I am going to try to give a brief synopsis, but some of these are very self-explanatory, like the 2 I just showed you guys. But yeah, if you guys want any information, it will be in the doobly-doo. So the next book I have is a very popular book, and I actually just hauled it in my first ever book haul, so if you guys want to go check that video out, it's in 2 parts. I will link both of those links down below as well, and that is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by, and I'm going to probably butcher his name again, Benjamin Alire-Science. Yeah. Like I said in my haul video, it is very hyped on BookTube. I've heard like quite a number of booktubers talk about this book. I can see why. It has a lot of awards. I'm super excited to get into this book. It seems like it's going to be very interesting and very like kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's going to provoke some thoughts. That's what I feel when I look at this book. Little blurb about it. It is about two boys named Aristotle and Dante. They seem to have very contradictory kind of character traits or attributes, but they meet and they become friends, and it's kind of a overview of their friendship and what kind of comes up during their friendship. And like I said, I think it's going to be very interesting. I think it's going to definitely make me think a few things about life, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? But super excited to get into it. And as I've said before, super excited. The next book that I have on my TBR is more of, it is for pleasure reading, I guess you could say, but the subject matter is more tuned towards what I want to do in graduate school. As some of you might know, I want to be a children's librarian, and I recently just applied for Library and Information Science graduate programs. The book is called, it's an anthology for reading apprenticeship building academic literacy. I always want to read more about literacy and reading, and kind of from an academic standpoint, as well as a pleasure reading standpoint for kids. So I'm really interested in reading this. On the back, it talks about literacy and identity and how we read and all of these different topics. So I'm super excited to get to this month. Hopefully I get to this. If not, I'm sure I'm going to be reading it soon, because like I said, I'm hoping to get into one of the graduate programs that I applied to and go and start my career as working towards becoming a librarian. The next one is also a book that I've heard tons and tons about on BookTube. I think Little Book Owl has talked about this book. A lot of people seem to have read this book recently, and that is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I never heard of this book until I saw people talk about it on BookTube, and then I got super lucky as always and found a copy. It's actually a really funny story. I went to a local library branch near me and found this, and I was like, yes, I can read this now. I'm super excited. And when I got up to the checkout, to the front desk, the book actually was out of the catalog. I guess this happens sometimes. I'm not exactly sure. And so the librarian said, probably the magic sentence. She goes, "Oh, it looks like you can keep this one." And I literally almost had a heart attack. I was like, what? Okay, yeah, sure. I will take home this fairly good condition of Ready Player One for my own possession. Thank you. I'm super excited to read this. I know that it takes place in the future. It's about video games and the 80s and pop culture, and all I have heard from people on BookTube is amazing things. So I'm super, super excited to read this. The next book is going to be, I guess you could say it's a reread, but I actually, to be completely honest, when I read this series back in, I want to say, the beginning of college, I kind of skimmed through this book. I wasn't super into what was going on. I kind of just focused more on the relationship between the two main characters. So now that this has come up on my TBR pile, I'm going to actually read it. And that is the third book in the Gemini Men trilogy by Jamie Alden, and it's Unleashed. I've talked about this trilogy a little bit. This is the third book. It follows the third brother, the oldest brother. His name is Danny, and he comes in, someone from his past re-enters his life, and these books are romantic suspense, and their storylines involve kind of a very interesting plot. I believe this one involves illegal adoptions. I'm super excited that I'll have a chance to read this for the first time / reread / I don't know. But yeah. And the last book is a book that I hauled this summer, and it is My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick. And I am actually really happy that I have this book in my TBR because it takes place in the summer, and right now I feel like I live in a frozen tundra. I was not joking about the whole third blizzard in like 3 weeks thing. Like, literally, where I live has been hit with, like, I'm pretty sure we're going on like 60 plus inches of snow. So I'm super excited to get to a book that takes place in the summer because I'm kind of missing the summer a little bit, and it's a romance as well, which works with the whole February because, to be honest, when I think of February, I think of Valentine's Day and love stories. This is about a girl who falls in love with the boy next door, and things get a little complicated, I believe, because her mother is like a politician and very kind of by the book image, really kind of focuses on image and stuff like that. And I believe the boy comes from a family that is less than picture perfect. So, but I'm super excited to get to this as well. Super excited is my phrase of the day with these books, but I mean, that's my general feeling towards every book. I just get super excited when I get to read any book, so it's hard for me to come up with new adjectives. So those are all the books that I am planning on reading for the rest of the month of February. Like I said, if I get to all of them, it would be absolutely amazing, especially since my Goodreads challenge is 90 books, and at the moment I have read, well, I haven't logged the ones that I read from the Readathon yet, but I am making progress. But nonetheless, I want to make more progress. If you guys have read any of these books and you love them or have a comment about them, leave those down below. If you loved hearing me ramble and because I feel like I talk like a mile a minute in this video, then give this video a thumbs up. And if you super liked me rambling and kind of think you're interested in seeing some of my other videos, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and make me very happy. But yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. I believe I am doing a couple of review videos coming up for the books that I've read in January, so look forward to that, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!